The tennis world is exploding, and it's not because of a Grand Slam victory. World number one. Aryna Sabalenka isn't just losing matches anymore, she's losing respect. The reactions from her fellow players are absolutely brutal, and this isn't about one bad comment. It's about a disturbing, year-long pattern that has completely alienated her from the tennis community. She might still be the champion on the court, but she's definitely been suspended from the good graces of the sport. The evidence is everywhere. What's happening to Sabalenka is unlike anything we've seen in professional tennis. A number one player who's managed to turn her opponents, the fans, and even the officials against her. The reactions are savage, and the entire sport is watching to see who will stand up to the queen of controversy. Let's break down the 4 crucial incidents that have totally exposed the world's top player. It all started at the French Open final against Coco Gauff. After losing a hard-fought battle in 3 sets, Sabalenka did something in her post-match press conference that shocked the entire tennis world. Instead of accepting defeat gracefully, she used her platform to publicly diminish Gauff's achievement. Her exact words were an absolute jaw-dropper, the kind of quote that lives forever in sports infamy. She claimed Gauff didn't win, she lost, stating that her opponent triumphed only because Sabalenka herself made all of those mistakes. Can you imagine delivering a line that utterly classless about someone who just beat you in a Grand Slam final? But she wasn't done. She had the incredible audacity to double down, suggesting that if her other rival, Iga Swiatek, had made the final, Iga would have won instead of Gauff. It was a vicious, unprovoked verbal jab against 2 of the tour's most popular players. The reaction was immediate and devastating. Fans went ballistic across social media, and the condemnation wasn't just coming from the bleachers. Former players, including world number 1 doubles player Rene Stubbs, rushed to their phones, calling the comments classless and outright disrespectful. The backlash was a storm so intense that Sabalenka had to issue an awkward, rushed apology statement on Instagram the very next day, clearly a last-ditch effort at damage control. But the words were out there. The tennis community had seen her true colors. The world thought she'd learned a critical lesson about sportsmanship, but what happened next proved they were dead wrong. Just 2 weeks later, the controversy flared up again at the Berlin Open. The cameras caught the entire confrontation after officials decided to temporarily suspend her match against Masarova due to slippery court conditions. Sabalenka completely lost it. She aggressively marched straight up to the tournament supervisor, launching into a furious argument. She didn't just question the decision, she made it personal. She openly accused her opponent of only complaining and asking for the delay because she was losing. Imagine the scene. The world number one, the sport's biggest star, bullying a lower-ranked qualifier and aggressively arguing with officials over a completely legitimate safety concern. The optics were utterly terrible, sending a clear message about her entitlement. To make matters worse, the whole blow-up directly affected the paying customers. The tournament had to tell fans that their tickets for Wednesday wouldn't be valid for Thursday's resumption. Sabalenka's on-court meltdown had directly screwed the people who pay to watch the sport. The lack of self-awareness was staggering, and the confrontations only intensified. Just weeks later at Wimbledon, she took her in-court aggression to a new, shocking level. At the All-England club facing American Amanda Anisimova in the semi-finals, Sabalenka generated more drama. During a tense moment in the 3rd set, Anisimova won a crucial point when her shot clipped the net cord and dropped over. Now, there's an unwritten decades-old rule in tennis that you offer a slight apology, a raised hand, or a small nod for winning points off a lucky net cord. Anisimova didn't. She celebrated the legal point instead. Sabalenka was furious and immediately confronted Anisimova right there on center court. She wasn't asking, she was demanding, trying to use her power and ranking to intimidate the younger player into apologizing. But here's the game changer. Anisimova refused to back down. She stood her ground, looked Sabalenka right in the eye, and essentially said there was nothing to apologize for. It was a legal point, and she earned it. Her composure in the face of the world, number one's aggression was a turning point for the entire tour. Locker room sources quickly confirmed that Anisimova gained huge respect from other players for standing up to Sabalenka's tactics. Word spread like wildfire that the world number one was actively trying to bully opponents when things weren't going her way. But this series of events wasn't just a coincidence. A pattern of behavior had been exposed. Before the season was even over, Sabalenka managed to sink her reputation even lower at the US Open. She did this not with her own match, but by defending Elena Ostapenko's absolutely shocking meltdown against Taylor Townsend. Ostapenko had a truly unsportsmanlike display, calling the American classless and saying she had no education. It was widely condemned as one of the most disrespectful moments in recent Grand Slam history. Most players wisely distanced themselves, but not Sabalenka. Instead, she rushed to Ostapenko's defense, suggesting the outburst was due to some things in life to face and some struggles. She tried to spin the behavior as a cry for help. Other players and prominent commentators saw this as Sabalenka directly excusing terrible behavior because she identified with it. Commentator John Warerheim articulated the growing frustration, writing that Sabalenka defending Ostapenko's indefensible behavior tells you everything about her mindset. The message was clear. She saw nothing wrong with bullying when losing. The most damaging and bizarre incident that cemented her public image came not on the court, but on a TV couch. Just when it seemed she might be trying to clean up her act, she appeared on the Today Show alongside men's U.S. Open champion Carlos Alcaraz. On national television, she made the staggering gaffe of accidentally calling Alcaraz Yannick, referring to her rival Jannik Sinner. The clip went viral instantly. It painted her as completely inconsiderate and out of touch, more focused on her own obsession with a rival than celebrating with the champion sitting right next to her. Even though Alcaraz handled it graciously, the incident was the perfect, embarrassing final note on a year of scandal. Behind the scenes, the drama was even more intense. Sabalenka's actions have created a seismic rift in the women's locker room. The legends of the game, who normally stay silent, felt compelled to speak up. Martina Navratilova, known for her measured commentary, publicly stated that Sabalenka's attitude is becoming a real problem for the sport itself. But the most damning evidence comes from the whispers of the current players. Multiple top 10 players, speaking only anonymously, confirmed the palpable tension. One source said, "Aryna thinks being number one gives her the right to say whatever she wants, but respect isn't about rankings." And here's the most telling detail. Sources report that younger players, fed up with the world number one's tactics, have formed a group chat where they share strategies for dealing with Sabalenka's mind games and on-court intimidation. The consensus is simple. Don't back down. This movement is what the tennis world calls the Anisimova Effect. Anisimova's bold refusal to be intimidated at Wimbledon became the catalyst, a rallying cry for the next generation. Younger players saw that you could stand up to Sabalenka's bullying tactics and not only survive, but thrive. Her victory over the world number one was celebrated in the locker room as a win for courage and composure over aggression. As one player put it, "I'm not letting her take away my moment. If she has a problem with a legal point, that's her issue, not mine." The movement is spreading, and players are now increasingly willing to call out behavior they see as unsportsmanlike. This debate goes beyond one player. Sabalenka's actions have forced a philosophical argument about the culture of modern tennis. Former world number one Chris Evert warned that if the sport loses its tradition of respecting the opponent, we lose something essential about what makes tennis special. Even Sabalenka's sponsors have reportedly expressed private concern about her public image. She is heading into the next season facing a crisis of character. While she holds the top rank, her standing with fans, sponsors, and her peers has never been lower. Tennis legend Billie Jean King, the ultimate advocate for sportsmanship, summed up the problem perfectly. Talent without character won't create a lasting legacy. The question now is whether Sabalenka will recognize the massive damage she's done to her reputation and make genuine changes, or whether she'll continue down a path that's alienating everyone. The one thing that's certain is that her opponents are no longer afraid. The Anisimova effect is in full swing, and players have finally figured out that standing up to her actually makes them stronger. The tennis world is watching to see if Sabalenka can redeem herself, or if she'll continue to be the player everyone loves to beat. Not just because of her ranking, but because of how she carries herself as a competitor and a person. The drama is far from over.